Voy a comentaros lo que es el SIAR y lo que presenta Cartier este año en el SIAR. Tenemos tres colecciones. Por un lado, la colección de alta relojería. Son todas las piezas de alta relojería, movimientos complicados realizados por la manufactura. Pasamos desde calendarios perpetuos, esqueletos, cronógrafos, pero llegamos hasta nuestra estrella, que es el astro regulador. Es una nueva concepción de un reloj que evita que la fuerza de la gravedad afecte al movimiento. Por lo tanto, es una nueva interpretación de lo que en su día, hace 200 años, realizó el turbillón. ¿Qué más tenemos? Tenemos también piezas realizadas por artesanos, lo que llamamos le métier d'art. Son esferas totalmente elaboradas en las que hacemos participar a grandes artesanos. Tenemos carátulas de marquetería, tenemos carátulas realizadas en mosaicos milimétricos que representan una tortuga, por ejemplo. Tenemos, por ejemplo, tallados un jaguar en un reloj tortue. Tenemos también esmaltes, por supuesto, lacas y engastados en diamantes, y también esa parte de joyería involucrada en la relojería, en la que vemos como piezas animales engastados en diamantes salen del reloj en la colección que llamamos el Cirque Animalier. Estamos viendo aquí el reloj de Lis, es el nuevo reloj femenino que lanza Cartier este año, un reloj con formas redondeadas, sensuales, que existen varios tamaños en modelos de oro y con diamantes. Es la nueva propuesta Cartier para mujer este año.
So the story of Mont Blanc in 2011 is a very clear one. It's to celebrate the 190th anniversary of the chronograph. It was in 1821 when a French gentleman called Nicolas Rieussec invented the first device which was able to measure short-term timing intervals, and he gave it also a name which was chronograph, because the idea came from writing time, because the device he developed was actually a toolbox with two turning discs, and you measured the time actually by putting a drop of ink on the turning discs. So that is why the logic came from writing time, and the Greek name chronograph became a synonym in the watchmaking industry. Now, what we want to celebrate here, what we actually want to highlight, is the importance of the chronograph over the last 2 centuries of its existence, because actually it was in the past much more than just a watchmaking complication. Because in the 18th and 19th century, at the time where you didn't have any computers, the chronograph was the only mean that allowed you to measure time, and for many scientists, motorists, aviation, pilots, there was no other mean to navigate and to develop science than if not for the chronograph. So the chronograph really had a tremendous impact on the development of science, of traffic, of modern industrialization, which without that today it would not have happened. So Mont Blanc wants to embrace that theme in 2011, on one hand to celebrate the chronograph, and that is why we are very happy to be able to bring you an exhibition to Mexico, to the CR, which we have been done together with the museum, International Museum of Watchmaking in La Chaux-de-Fonds. And we have staged an exhibition with 45 old chronographs across the different times of centuries, which is very interesting to see what the chronograph had been doing in the past. And of course, our product highlights of this year are also all around, centered around the chronograph. Now, what would be an anniversary without the anniversary edition? That's why, of course, we have an anniversary edition on our Rieussec collection. You have seen the watches before, a beautiful, very classical dial in combination with a very technical, open, half-skeleted movement in a very pure look. And this is one of the highlight concepts for Mont Blanc this year. We also thought 2011, when celebrating the anniversary of the chronograph, would be a good year to introduce a new chronograph movement. And that is why we have introduced the Time Walker Twin Fly, a flyback chronograph with a very peculiar indication of the chronograph time with a 2-second hand from the center, as a new chronograph manufacture movement from Mont Blanc on our Time Walker line. And we highlight it specifically in the Time Walker Black Titanium, which is a limited edition of 300 pieces. And the last and third aspect of the 190 years of the chronograph is actually our heritage we have with Minerva. In Minerva we have inherited a company with more than 150 years of history, a great legacy in the development of chronographs, and we highlight this history by introducing the vintage pulsograph, which is actually taking reference to an old Minerva watch from the 1930s and interprets it new with our new caliber MBM 1321. So if you want, our products mirror the development of the 190 years of the chronograph with the 3 highlights: Rieussec, Time Walker and Villade.
Hi, I'm Steve Halleck. I'm the president of MBNF in North America. And yesterday, October 4th, we launched our brand new machine at the CR. It was the world premiere here. So we're very proud of launching it in Mexico, and it's a very big step for us. So every year we do a new machine, and usually they're very sort of crazy contemporary pieces. This one was inspired by jet engines, some by spaceships or space stations. And here we've gone in a little bit of a different direction. So the idea was, we love old pocket watches. In the 18th and 19th century, you had these master watchmakers, and they developed almost every complication you see in this whole building. So we started thinking, what would have happened if we were us, we were MBNF, we still wanted to create three-dimensional machines, but we were born 100 years before we were. So we didn't have the reference of fighter jets or space shuttles or anything like that. And so this is the machine that we've come up with. It's a brand new line for us. Instead of being horological machines like our HM1, HM2, HM3, HM4, this is LM1, legacy machine number 1. And there will be LM2, LM3, etc. So what do you have? You have a very classic round movement, gold chatons, rubies. Here you have the name of the two watchmakers involved, Jean-François Maujean, most famous for doing Opus 10 for Harry Winston, and Kari Voutilainen, who is the expert on classic traditional horology. And so the two of them came together to design this spectacularly finished movement. Every single part is brand new for this piece, of course. And at first, it looks like a very classic movement, and then you realize that there's no balance wheel. So you flip the watch over, and you can see that we have our balance wheel suspended like magic over the watch, under this domed sapphire crystal. So you have your balance spinning there. It's a very big 14mm balance, running very slowly at 2.5 Hertz. So it gives this hypnotic effect going back and forth. Underneath you have basically two pocket watch dials. They're independently set time zones, so you can set each one to whatever time you want. And here you have the world's first vertical power reserve. As you wind it up, this little thing goes up the bridge, and as the watch runs out, it goes back down. So this is our legacy machine number 1, brand new from MBNF. Next year you'll see HM5, which will be another crazy machine like this, and after that you'll see LM2, and then HM6, LM3, etc. So we're very proud of it, very proud to launch it in Mexico. This is my 4th year here at the CR, and it's a very important fair for us, so we're very happy. Thank you.